On my side, you have the Ectuses with Anakin with Predator, Brilliant Evasion. Then you have Obi-Wan with Predator, Brilliant Evasion, Patience. Then you have Jag, Standard Loadout. Then you have Wolf with Synchronized Console and R4 Astromech. And then Plo with Patience, Compassion, and Calibrated Laser Targeting. So on the opponent's side, playing Scum and Villainy, we have Sarko Plank and Savage Opress as the crew. Then we have Q9 with Contraband Cybernetics, Han Solo Gunner, and L337 crew. Then we have Cad Bane with Sync Laser Cannons over 2 modulators, Xandu Blood enabling Kira crew, and Cutthroat as a talent. Then we have the Mandalorian with Mandalorian Optics, BT-1 Gunner, the Child crew, Outmaneuver talent, Contraband Cybernetics, and Razor Crest hiding an illicit card. So positioning of the obstacles, got a bit of a triangle positioning in the center on supply pickups. So you just have to interact with the objective and pick it up. If a crit damage lands on you, whether it be your shield or the hull, the objective falls off you and you have to place it range 1 nearby. I'm seeing a little angle of how the 170s can go in. But as we continue this series, you're going to see like a tried and true positioning of all my ships. And every single game, my ships are going to be Jag in the middle, Obi-Wan and Anakin on the side, and on the side next to Wolf, and then Plo by itself. It's always going to be Plo by itself, because I really want to make use of that reposition. But in this scenario, though, I definitely want Obi-Wan to pick up the crate, because we most definitely do not want Plo to pick it up, because I won't be able to do my free boosts and barrels, and a Delta with that can't boost is losing a huge part of its kit or barrel. On the opponent's side, you've got them all clustered up in one center, well, one part of the board. So expect to see 4 shots all on one side. It's going to be very tricky though to see how Anakin doesn't get one shot, although he's only staring down really 2 dice guns with the bomber and the rogue class. Just got to avoid that middle part. After the deployment phase, I must assign the child token to 2 of my ships. This makes it so that when I shoot the Mandalorian, after the attack is finished, I get a free target lock back. And that's to offset the advantage of having 2 force. And I have assigned the child token onto Wolf and Plo. Opponent wins initiative. Sarko Plank does 2 straight and takes a focus. Jag goes 2 straight and takes a focus. Cad Bane goes 2 straight and takes a focus. Wolf goes 2 straight and takes a focus. The Mandalorian goes 2 straight and takes a focus. Q9 does 2 bank and takes a focus. Plo goes 2 straight and takes a focus. Obi-Wan goes 2 straight and takes a focus. Anakin goes 3 straight and barrel rolls to the right. Round 1 conclusion. Definitely feel like you're not really supposed to be positioning medium bases like this just directly next to each other unless 100% you know you're going to joust. But you're not really going to know that considering your initiative 3. But if you look now, it's going to be extremely questionable trying to turn in. When simply put, Jag just needs to do something like 2 hard to the right, 2 hard to the left, and then Wolf needs to do 1 bank to the left, 1 straight, and it would set me up perfectly to collapse to the center. Now Wolf has to heavily play around this little bit of asteroid. It's not absolutely detrimental for him to take the damage, but landing on it will definitely rob him of a shot versus a priority target, so it's going to be very awkward. Opponent wins the initiative. System phase, Cad Bang decloaks forward. Zarko does a free bank and picks up the objective. Jag does a 2 bank and then takes a focus. Cad Bang does a 2 bank, then takes a target lock for Kira proc. Wolf does a 2 bank, then takes a focus. The Mandalorian does free bank into target lock Jag. Q9 does free straight into target lock Jag. Plo does a free straight, then spends a force for a boost to the left, then takes a focus. Obi-Wan does 2 straight and picks up the crate. Anakin does 1 hard into boost forward. 2 shields for 2 shields. 2 shields on Jag, 2 shields on the Mandalorian in the center. Had bullseye focus versus Q9 possibly, but it was barely out of attack range. Barely. Anakin and Dirge both miss. Round 2 conclusion. Very unfortunate with Plo, but he's in perfect positioning to threaten that crate. And Anakin has managed to not die, which is something that can happen. But 1v1, it's not really going to be a problem. So we're going to see how that plays out. But the middle leaves much to be desired. Due to Wolf, I think honestly it would have been better for Wolf to barrel roll to the left just to set up better positioning for next turn. Because I'm not sure if, I don't quite remember if it's this round, but eventually the Mandalorian does set up a 5k. Obi-Wan has a crate, and Sarko have a crate. Score is 1-1. The Republic wins the initiative. Round 3, system phase. Anakin does a boost to the right, spending a force. Mandalorian optics happens on the Mandalorian. False code also triggers on Jag, but it should have triggered the first time the jam happened. Don't think it's optional. The first time the lock happened. And then lastly, overtuned modulators with Cad Bane. Pops. Zarko did 2 straight focus, and Jag did 2 straight focus. 2 straight pick up a crate because I'm already jammed. Wolf does a very tight 1 bank into focus. Cad Bane does a free bank left into target lock Jag. Plo does a free straight, spends a force to boost to the left, then picks up the crate. Q9 does 2 hard, then takes a target lock on Jag. The Mandalorian does 1 straight, taking stress focus, and then because of Savage Oppress on Sarko being the crew, he can spend 1 force to gain a focus token. So he has 2 focuses. I forget to reveal my dial on Obi-Wan, but it's just going to be 2 hard into focus. Anakin does a decently questionable move of 4k. Jag gets blasted off the table, and Mandalorian only takes 1 damage range 1 from Wolf. And Plo does no damage range 1 bullseye to Q9. Wolf also loses all of his shields. Round 3 conclusion. An extremely rough start for me. But keep in mind, none of my Jedis have been touched at all. And you're going to see the kind of advantage state I can get put in, even with my arcs taking massive damage. Keep in mind, this is, what, 18 health. 3 of that is shields, 6 of that is shields. And they're only worth 4 points each. So they're basically way better than Maul and Backstabber. Very disappointed in the Anakin 4K. The only way I could look at it is like maybe Cad Bane does 4K. I'm not sure if he has access to it, whether it's 5 or 4, but he would have been on the Rock. But I don't think even if I go 1 hard, he won't have me in Bullseye, and it'll be an extremely awkward position for him. And also in this scenario, I'm going to pick up the crate and get range 1. But when you're playing with Jedis, as long as you get to play them and they don't get absolutely destroyed, you're going to find value, especially in the late game once everything gets clustered. So even if I got blasted off the table, all my shields are gone. Like the medium base ships constantly roll 2 evades. Still got to keep my head in the game. Plo holds a crate and Obi-Wan holds a crate for 3 points. Scum and Villainy has scored a takedown on Jag for 4 points, and Sarko is still holding a crate. Score is 3-6. Opponent wins the initiative. Sarko does a reverse bank 1, gaining a stress. Cad Bane does a 2 straight blue, removing 1 strain and taking a focus token. Wolf does a 3 straight and does a stress focus. Plo does a 1 bank and takes a focus. The Mandalorian goes 4 straight blue and takes a target lock on Obi-Wan. Q9 goes 1 straight, taking a focus. Obi-Wan does a 2 bank and just takes a focus. Anakin does a 3 bank to the left and picks up a crate. Obi-Wan takes a damage, and Wolf takes a fuel leak and a damage card. Q9 has lost all of its shield and has taken 2 damage cards. Round 4 conclusion. Not the best play pattern of Anakin, man. Has not committed anything, has not done anything for 4 rounds straight. I mean, either not give points. Still is in a place where he can do a lot of damage, but definitely not the play pattern for the flanker, I'd say. If I just turned in on that 1 turn, I would have got so much mileage, so much more points, so much more attacks off. So I gotta look into that. Also, Obi-Wan not getting a lot of attacks off is okay, considering I could pick up the crate so early. But maybe I could have moved into the center quicker. But one thing interesting about this Obi-Wan positioning is that I think my opponent was playing around me, playing around his 5k. So if I go 2 straight and he goes 5k, he gets a lovely 5 dice attack, right? Whereas if he goes like that and I do 2 straight and he takes a lock onto me, he's shooting at Ectus range 1 with 2 force and a target launch, meaning it's most likely going to do a lot of damage if I don't roll 2 paint. But I feel like even in that scenario, I possibly could have taken a force, then evade. And I think if the ceiling for him is 4 successes, I'm bound to get 1 success, evade, and live, while doing a crap ton of damage to the Mandalorian, which is the true target. So, yeah, if I'm going to play like this for Obi-Wan, it's either I'm punishing the opponent 5k, or I'm going straight into the center. Anakin Most definitely needs to be improved. All three of my Jedi hold crates. Sokka holds one crate. Score is 6-7. The Republic win the initiative. Sokka flies 3 straight, clearing the stress, and simply takes a focus. Wolf does 2 hard, then uses R4 to reduce its difficulty to blue, then fixes his fuel leak. Cad Bane does a 2 Talon, gaining a stress. Plo does a 1 bank, bumping into an enemy ship, taking a stress focus. Obi-Wan does 2 straight, then simply takes a focus. Spends a force to get a free focus, then takes an evade. He also uses Anakin's ability to remove the target lock. Q9 did a 1 bank, bumping into Wolf, taking a stress focus. Mandalorian does a 2 Talon, gaining a stress. Anakin does a 2 hard and takes an evade. Round 5 shooting phase. Cad Bane did a crit into Anakin. For damage, Sensor Ray can only do focuses as action. Damage also navigated onto him with a range 1 from Q9. And then Mandalorian shot into Obi-Wan. Managed to get a hit through. And Wolf got a decent range 1 attack into Zarko for a hit crit. Crit being weapons failure. Blasting off his crate. Overall, a very good round for me. Multiple range 1 attacks on damn near all of my ships nearly. Bit unfortunate that a crit landed on me to remove the ship. To remove the crate. And I was questioning the evade considering I'm in Cad Bane's bullseye, but it's mainly to not take the range 1 damage, or at least reduce it as much as possible from Q9. So after this definitely looks like a kill on Q9, and I sink an extra 4 dice into Sokka. Next turn, my plan in its purest state should be what to do about the Mandalorian's 1 straight. So logically, I need to set up multiple attacks on the Mandalorian. I'm going to see how that goes. The Republic score a takedown on Q9, scoring a massive 6 points plus the 2 crates, taking from 6 to 14. And Sarko has 1 crate, meaning it should be on 8 points. So the score is 14-8. Sarko goes 1 hard, then uses an action to tractor Obi-Wan to boost forward. Wolf goes 3 bank and picks up the crate. The Mandalorian does 1 straight and takes a focus. Obi-Wan does a K turn. Plo does a 2 bank, taking a focus. Anakin does a 4 straight and bumps for stress focus. Obi-Wan blanked out, taking 3 successes. The Mandalorian barely lives on 2 HP. So Anakin definitely should have turned in there. I'm at a point where I can take an engagement like this, lose a ship, and still win. As long as I get out of dodge, I will win the game. But of course, the 2 targets were Sarko and the Mandalorian. 4 straight on Anakin does not cover any kind of possibility. When I'm playing an I6, in that scenario, I should be doing something like 2 straight, 1 hard, adapt to my positioning.
and line everything up. And one thing interesting about this Sarko is that when he tracked his son, he's basically telling you, "I'm gonna shoot all at this one ship." Very unfortunate the extreme blank out on Obi-Wan, but I was on 1 health, so just a bit unfortunate. 4 versus 3, blank out is what it is. From this position, I must commit to the fact that I'm running away with Anakin, not actually trying to deal damage. But you're gonna see. I believe Sarko critted off a crate on Plo, which is very unlucky. And then 1 point to me from Wolf carrying a crate, and then 4 points +1 from the Obi-Wan takedown and the crate on Sarko. Score is 15-13. Some mistakes coming up. The Mandalorian also took a crit, which was Panic Pilot for 2 stress tokens. The Republic win the initiative. Sarko did a backwards 1 bank for a stress. Wolf does a 1 straight and takes a focus. Cad Bane did a 2 bank, taking a focus. Plo does a 1 bank and crashes into enemy ship. The Mandalorian does a 1 straight, removing the stress. Anakin goes for 2 Talon, but technically that shouldn't work because I'm stressed, and that purple K-turn is a technically a white maneuver, so it should just be too hard. It's a bit of cheating on my end, but it won't result in a win. Shooting. Only ship to die is Anakin, losing me the game. So here, this is not the play. This puts me at range 1, and if the rules police came in, I wouldn't have gotten a shot, really, because it would have been too hard. Plo should have went for the escape, clear everything, and I feel like Anakin should have done something like free bank boost, and it would have been fine. I would have won by 2 points, and it would have been excellent. But that is the game. Thanks for watching. 1 point from Wolf carrying a crate brings me to 15-16, and then 4 points from the Obi-Wan kill, plus the 1 crate from Sarko brings him up to 18 points. Lose by 2 points.